Madrid have beaten Mallorca 2-1 at home in their final game of La Liga before the international break. And I gotta be honest, it was a bit, I don't know, it was weird. It was a weird game because it was kind of unspectacular, but at the same time, we had 3 goals disallowed because of offside. So, 2 goals disallowed because of offside, and then Arda Guler's goal, just, I don't understand. Where else is the man supposed to put his hand? Like, literally, where else is his hand supposed to go? I didn't even want to start with Arda's disallowed goal, but here we are. Let's just keep going with it since we're here. I mean, to an extent, I get it. To an extent, I get it. It hit his hand, and because of that deflection, it led to him getting his goal. So I kind of get it, but at the same time, where else is his hand supposed to go? Like, he can't do anything if the defender hits it at his chest. What, he's just supposed to let the ball hit him in his chest? It's a natural reaction to try to defend yourself. His hands were against his body. There was literally nowhere else it was going. He wasn't making himself any bigger, and yet it was still disallowed. So it just led to the overall final score, which was 2-1. And in the end, it was more Ceballos than anyone else. But in a way, we were kind of just trying to get through it. There were moments in the game where we were just trying to hold our lead and just take the 3 points, which was very, very weird to me. I didn't like it, to be honest. It was not, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. But like I said, it was more Ceballos than anyone else. I didn't really see the other players do it as much. Let's move on to the goals. Start with Mallorca. It's a set piece. I've said this from the beginning. I've said this for a while. I said this, I think it was after the Osasuna game. I can't even remember. But I said this, and I have been saying this for a while. When teams come to the Bernabeu, they play for counterattacks, a mess up from Real Madrid in which they're out of position and they can break. Like, not exactly a counterattack, but like a loose touch or a wayward pass. And then a set piece. Those are the 3 ways teams typically try to get goals against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu in La Liga, and that's what happened with Mallorca. The big man up top, Mariki, got on the end of a cross. I don't even think it hit his head. I think it hit his shoulder, but 1-0 down. Real Madrid have conceded their first goal in La Liga this season. To be honest, I feel like it was avoidable. If it's hitting a man's shoulder, then clearly someone is doing something wrong, or many people are doing something wrong. But it didn't really make too big of a difference. I did want a clean sheet. I did want a clean sheet from the beginning, but because it didn't affect the overall score, the only reason I'm kind of annoyed is because we couldn't maintain our clean sheet. I really wanted a clean sheet going into the international break. But moving on to Real Madrid's first goal. Every single player involved in that goal was purchased this summer. Every single one except for the goal scorer, Arda Guler. We had, I think it was Trent who took the corner, passed it to Mastantuono, who passed it to Carreras, who crossed it to Dean Huijsen, who headed it down to Arda Guler to just tap into an open goal. It was a phenomenally worked team goal. Like, I couldn't believe it. The reason I'm laughing is I can't believe, I thought for a while, I thought for a minute we would see Arda Guler setting up Dean Huijsen, because Dean is a great header of the ball. Arda takes set pieces or has a great pass or cross on him. I thought many times this year we would be saying Arda Guler has assisted Dean Huijsen. I never ever once thought we would be saying Dean Huijsen has assisted Arda Guler. That I did not expect. So that kind of caught me off guard. But I was very, very happy with that first goal. It was a phenomenally worked goal. It was a great team goal. And I think that must be a tactic. I am very, very sure that was straight off the training ground. There is no way it was played the way it was and everything happened the way it did for it to be a fluke. There's no way Dean Huijsen wasn't told, if a corner is taken short, make sure you're at the back post. And there's no way Carreras wasn't looking for him at the back post. It just seemed so perfectly done that it just had to have been orchestrated on the training pitch. After that, very, very soon after that, we got the second. And Vinicius Jr. We'll come back to the press and winning the ball back in the opposition half in a second. But Vini Jr., all it took was for him to be dropped once. And we're starting to see glimpses, little moments of the player who could have and should have won the Ballon d'Or a couple years ago. He was great when he came off the bench against Oviedo, and he was great in moments in this game. He wasn't spectacular. He wasn't the Vini of old still. He's not still quite there. I refuse to say he is, because he isn't. He's not quite there yet, but that goal was the Vini we know. That goal was the Vini we want to see. Taking on 2 defenders, because Vini has always got 2 defenders on him. Taking on 2 defenders, sending them both for hot dogs before cutting onto his left foot and then beautifully placing it in the bottom right corner. It was fantastic. It was a great goal. But more than the goal and more than Vini, I want to talk about the high press, because we're doing it. We're actually doing it. That one time, it led to a goal. There were many moments in the game where we were activating the high press, or we were doing the high press, and we were winning the ball back very, very high up the pitch, right in and around Mallorca's defence and midfield line, more leaning towards the defence, but the midfield defence line, and it led to great opportunities. Sometimes players' touches let them down, sometimes the final pass let them down, sometimes the shot let them down, but we were doing it and it was leading to various chances, and that is what I really, really am happy about, because it's in theme with how we've been playing in the first 3 games. In the first 3 games, we keep doing that. We keep pressing up. We keep pressing high. And we keep winning the ball back and creating chances from when we win the ball back against the opposition in their own half. It happened against Oviedo when Vini assisted Mbappe. It happened today when Vini scored. And I don't know if Fede got the assist, but he could have got the assist. To be fair, I don't even think we won the ball back in their half for this. We won it in our own half, but it was still very high up the pitch. And there were so many players forward, ready to press, ready to pounce, ready to push. And that's another thing. Once we got the ball back, we had like 4 or 5 players. I saw Fede, I saw Arda, I saw Vini, I saw Mbappe, and I think I saw Mastantuono, all just pushing and attacking the 2 or 3 Mallorca defenders to outnumber them, because they knew this was an opportunity and they knew that they needed to attack. And the final thing I want to address today is Trent. Trent is slowly, it is slow, but he is slowly starting to gain the confidence to play the passes and make the crosses and take the chances we need him to take. He done it once for Mbappe that led to a goal. Unfortunately, Mbappe was offside, but that pass. What a pass. What a ball from Trent. That is the player we need. That is the passing ability we need. And that is the defense splitting threat that we need. And he will give us that. He just needs to build confidence. It took Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe is arguably the best player in world football. It took him 4, 5, 6 months to get going and find his feet. It will take Trent time. But just the sparks, the little moments are there, and I love it. Because straight after that, there was also a cross that he picked up the ball very high up the pitch, and he crossed it straight to Mbappe, and it just didn't lead to a goal where Mbappe ended up hitting the side net. But again, it was a phenomenal pass from Trent, or a phenomenal cross. And we can just hope that will come sooner rather than later, but we can see that's what he will bring to the team once he is fully incorporated and fully showcasing what he can do. But yeah, to conclude things, it wasn't exactly, like I said, spectacular, but we had 3 goals disallowed. We weren't really... I mean, there were moments in the second half where Mallorca were just all over us, and it felt like flashback Real Madrid to last year, and they had like a good 10-minute spell where it seemed like they would get the next goal, and they nearly did, were it not for a phenomenal block from Carreras off the line. But besides that, it was, like I said, it's not very spectacular, but the squad and the players have been saying, and the manager have been saying, we haven't really had time, we haven't really had a pre-season, so we're going to be using these first few games before the international break as pre-season. So it's still calm. It's still calm. It's still early days. Let's not get too crazy with the performance levels and all that. We're getting the points on the board. We're getting people involved. We're getting goals. That's the most important. But anyway, I'm going to call the video there. Thanks for watching, and peace.